What's
What the
going
hell
on?
is going on?
What in the Sam hell? What in the wild, wild world of sports is it going on here?
I love that one. What in the wild,
Me
wild
too.
world of sports is going on?
Yeah, I love that. I think it's Blazing Saddles.
That one was one of my favorites.
Oh, I love that movie. I was talking to, gosh, I don't know. I forgot who I was talking to, but they said that they've never seen any of like the good Mel Brooks
Oh,
parody movies.
wow.
I was like, how can you not? I mean, they're all good. Robin Hood Men in Tights, History of the World, Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. I mean,
You can't.
Spaceballs for everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't. I honestly watched Spaceballs before I saw Star Wars
Wow.
as a kid because my dad likes Star Wars.
Yeah.
My parents do, but I never really paid attention to Star Wars until after I had already been familiar with Spaceballs. So I was doing Spaceballs the coloring book, Spaceballs the flamethrower.
Spaceballs, the what was it? Spaceballs, the doll?
Yeah, the doll. May the Schwartz be with you.
Some of my best stuff. I love it. I
Oh
love it. I
yeah.
love it. I mean, usually I'm not a big fan of like super punny humor, but that
Hmm.
like
Oh,
Mel
he's a
Brooks
master.
stuff,
He's a
he
master.
is a master. You're right, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I forgot who I got to watch Blazing Saddles a while back, but they were like, you cannot air this on TV today. I was like, no, no, you
no, you
can't.
can't.
You can't. You absolutely cannot. The comedy has changed. People are very sensitive, and it would not fly on TV
Yeah.
today.
Hey, your Skype's getting a little crunchy. Are you running anything in the background that might be pulling your bandwidth?
Not at all, but I'll close. Well, yeah, all I'm running is Skype and Chrome.
And
That's
you're
it.
you're hardwired, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
mean,
weird.
I'll just kill a couple of random things that are on here I don't need on my task manager.
Cool.
No one else is here, so
Yeah, that's weird. It's just like crunch, 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 and then it was going in and out. So I don't know. Look at all
well,
these people in the chat room. We love you guys. Hi. There's so many people from the meetup, from the Renaissance Fair meetup in there.
sweet.
Yes. And Tanker One is here. I met him yesterday. He saw
Yes,
me
I
in
saw that.
line as I
I
was
saw
waiting
the
for
picture.
food. Walked up to me and he goes, "Are you Jules Scott?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I listened to the show." And that was so cool. And of course, like my kiddo was with us, and she afterwards she goes, "Whoa, mom, you're famous." She thought that was really funny. I mean, I think she finally understood what I do. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about the beat up and stuff, but she loved Cuddles, who is here right now. She loved him. She thought he was the bomb. Like Cuddles was like her favorite person besides Midnight and Ladra. Because I mean, she loves Midnight and Ladra, but she thought Cuddles was the bomb. Do you
Oh
have a
yeah.
YouTube channel? That's what she kept asking him. He's like,
You
"Yeah, I do."
stream? Yes,
You're
I
on
do.
YouTube? Like YouTube channel. People who are on YouTube are like gods to her.
Yeah,
So
like big old celebrities, you know.
absolutely. In chat room, I have a surprise for you if the little guy will cooperate. I do have a
Uh-oh.
cat cam running.
Uh-oh.
I do have it running. So if, periodically I may transition to that. If he's there, he'll show up. So, yeah, there's a cat cam running, as I promised. So, but he's not there right now. So, no cat cam. So there you go. So
It
I
makes
might just,
cat eventually.
transition the video throughout the night, as we're not talking about anything too heavy, but he's
Yeah,
being super cute. Yeah.
just a cat just laid out.
Yeah. So I have to credit Kalani for the idea of how to set the cat cam up. So because I'm sitting there going, how am I going to do this? I don't know. I can't plug two of the same webcam into my computer at the same time. And I have two of the same webcam because it'll conflict. And so you can't do
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? And so I'm thinking, well, this and this and this and this. And then he came up with this awesome idea. And the first idea didn't work. But then I was doing a search online, and I'm like, oh, that idea will work.
That could work.
so, so that was perfect. And then I was like, I'll try it tonight and see if it works. And sure enough, look, there's my couch right there. So if he jumps up there, you'll get to see him. And he's usually pretty darn cute when we do the show because he likes to hear Mom talk. So, yeah.
I don't know why my video is so bad. There's no one else here. There's nobody else on the internet here.
I mean, the video isn't crisp, but I was more concerned about your audio, and it was getting crunchy, and it's not right now. Like, after you closed the stuff, it got better.
Okay.
So,
there wasn't really anything going in the background. I don't know what the deal is. I think I'll just I need a new computer. Need to upgrade. Need a doghouse.
I have to tell you this real thing. We'll start the show in just a minute, but so this year, I think we've mentioned this before that Kane and I have Packer tickets. We have Green Bay Packer season tickets, which are very, very coveted things in Wisconsin. It's a big thing, and so every year that we've had them, the Packer tickets, we've usually just sold them to coworkers for like just a touch over face value, which is like an excellent deal, right?
Yeah.
So this year, we've had some more expenses. I've lost some hours at work. It's been a bit of a tighter year. And so I said to him, why don't you just look online and see how much they go for online? And, like to sell them through the Packers website. And we looked and saw some games were going for $400 a ticket. And, and you're paying $70, $90 for them. And, oh, look who just shut up. There he is. Hi, Karis. So we started, I said to him, why don't we think about doing it this year? And he said, okay. So he did. And they're selling, and we've already made a profit off of the total amount of money that we spent for these tickets. And we just started to sell them, and I'm like, you get a new computer! Like, it's the best thing. He's so excited because he could get a new computer. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We're paying more than that. Okay, whatever. So I don't know how much the tickets were exactly. So there's the kitty right there. Throughout the night, as we do the show, he will start to do the Superman.
It's so cute.
Isn't that adorable? I can't get it any closer right now, but it's working. So I'll just kind of tweak the system, and maybe he'll let me get it a little closer to him. So
pretty kitty.
He's a pretty boy. So he won't be up the entire time, but I'll flip him back and forth so he doesn't distract you guys too much, because he is so damn cute sometimes that it's like... Well, we can start the show out with him on, because that's okay. So
yeah.
All right, sound checking time.
So cute.
Sound checking time.
This podcast is a part of the Signal.
I'll bring that.
Yep, I can hear it.
It's good. Chat room, how's that sound? Hi, buddy.
Does that sound okay?
Hi. Hi, sweet boy. He's looking at me going, Mom.
Now I get to watch you. Yep, I see him looking at you.
Yep. He's looking at me going, Mama.
What?
He's so cute.
You're
all right.
Anything.
I knew you'd love the cat cam. Kane's like, you're going to do all that for a cat cam? I'm like, the audience wants to see the cute kitty, so we'll just do the cute kitty.
Yeah, do the cat cam, see how it works out.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I've changed the intro.
My slash moo mug.
Slash moo mug. Yep, mine's over here too.
Slash mug.
All right.
I don't know if you can. Let me see if you can see it. Oh yeah, I've got my Fabelina badge up there.
Oh look! You can see mine behind me. It's right there.
There. I may show it off since I got it from this week. I may flash it on the video. I'll have to get it.
Get it on the video. He's taking his little bath before it's time for him to go to sleep. All right. Ready to roll? We got sound check. We got, and you're going to read the...
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
All right, we got an upfront intro and then music, and we're good to go. And then finally, chat room. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Chat room. Are you guys...
Who's ready?
Ready? Press 1 for ready, please.
Could I get summons, please?
Press 2 for summons.
I just logged on. I'm in my garrison. Can I have summons, please? Summons. I don't have the flight path.
Look at that chat room. We love you guys so much. One? No, not Kappa. Just one. All right, we're going to go on a countdown of 3, 2, 1.
This episode of Tauren Think Tank is brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/Tauren Think Tank. If you like what we do, our Patreon site is a secure, easy way to help us out. Thank you, patrons. Your support is very much appreciated.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
It's episode 158, I think, of Tauren Think Tank. I was like, I had to change it on the notes after I changed it on the intro, and I'm like, I think it's 158.
What day is it?
What day is it? Well, today is Sunday, August 23rd of 2015. My name is Jules. We're recording on a Sunday night, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool, because there's a lot of people in the chat room tonight, and we love that. And with me tonight is the man with the plan, and his name is not Stan. It's Marconin.
Sunday. You're going to join us at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. We've got a nice show on here for you. We got a co-host Jules, myself, Marconin. We've also got a surprise third host later on. We'll tell you about that later.
That was
Hi,
like
Jules.
a Hulk Hogan thing.
It
Almost.
it was like Hulk Hogan tractor pull commercial all rolled into one.
That was rocking. I loved it.
Well, you know, a little bit of a spoiler alert. I've been working on the intro to two friends of mine who are also doing a new podcast that I just wanted to mention. I produced the intro to the WoW Challenges podcast.
Ooh.
And so that's by Stone, the guy who heads wowchallenges.com, and our good friend Lita from Behind the Avatar. Yeah. So they're gearing up to do their first episode, and so I may or may not have had a similar voice when recording that intro, so it's on the brain. So we'll just let you guys wait for that one. So I'm excited to watch their episodes too. Really get ready for their take on Iron Man stuff.
The cat has decided he wants to check out the cam and make it fall. So that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, a feline third host is what it is tonight.
The feline third host decided to knock the camera down, so we'll just set the camera back up in a few minutes.
I just caught it with the stream catching up. That's fantastic.
I might have to work out the bugs on that, but the chat was like, cat cam down. Yeah, he just saw that, and he's like, what is that?
Yeah. For those of you listening just on the audio download, check out the YouTube page to see the cat cam crash, the great cat cam crash of 2015.
That is a great. That is awesome. I decided that we were going to set up this cat cam because the chat room loves to hear about Garrus, my little snowshoe Siamese, and man, he just like sits on the couch and makes these awesome little poses as I do a show. So I had this great idea that I would set up the cat cam on the table that my computer is on, and he saw it and then saw himself in it and thought that was kind of weird, and now he knocked my iPad on the floor. So I'll fix it at the break or something like that. So, Marconin, what's been going on with you this week?
Well, just a regular old week working WoW and just enjoying the days. I got to visit with my grandparents today. It was my grandmother's birthday this past week, and so we grilled some burgers and hot dogs and just had a good old family time for a few hours and did that earlier today. So it was really nice.
Nice.
It's finally starting to cool off a little bit. And so I was able to sit out on the back porch. I sent Jules a picture of it earlier today, and just got to enjoy the nicer weather.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite nice, but it was all right. Had a decent week as far as mounts go. I actually got 6 new mounts. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I do want to.
Though.
Yeah, it's. I did a bunch of the profession-y ones and a couple of them that you can just kind of just buy up some things and get them, like the Bone White Primal Raptor from the Isle of Giants. I needed a couple thousand of those bones left, so I just bought some. But I did get, as if you listened last week, or was it post show somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Arcane actually had got an extra Coalfist Gronling from his garrison missions that I have yet to get, and he sent it to me. So thank you, Arcane, again. I really appreciate it. I've been writing on it all week, so it's. I'm like, yay! I have this mount. It's so pretty.
That was like the best present and surprise ever.
Man. Yeah,
excuse me.
That's a way to Marconan's heart is through my mount collection. You buy me a mount, I love you forever, forever
and ever,
forever, ever. But yeah, that's about it. Not a real big week or anything like that. I mean, I didn't go to any Ren Fairs or anything. I mean, although I've heard that some people have. So Jules, what did you do this week?
Oh, just hung out with like 35 of peoples around the country at a Renaissance fair. Yeah.
Only 35?
Only 35. I mean, come on, 35 people. Holy crap.
That's a huge number of people.
For the first time doing this? Are you serious? Like, that was insanity, people. We had people who came from North Dakota, from Minnesota, and someone flew in from Florida. That was Cuddles from the Game Case podcast. He flew in for the weekend to come there, and we had so much fun. Like, it was awesome. And, it's hard to say how something like that is going to turn out because it's like the first time they've ever done it. But people were driving in from all over, and there were like pre-meetups happening that just kind of organically happened. We had one here in the Madison area for some folks that were here, and then they created another one in the Milwaukee area, and then people went down to the Ren Faire yesterday. God, it's yesterday. But it feels like it was like a month ago. Like, It's just like time has taken this weird turn. It was a beautiful day. It was hot. I mean, you see most of us now and we're kind of pink in the face, including me. So
little sunshiny.
It was kind of warm. Today, it would have been absolutely gorgeous. It just about hit 70 degrees today.
Oh, man.
Oh, so much fun. And so, yeah, we had about 35 people that showed up, and we were able to get group rate tickets. And I have to give an amazing, huge shout out to Midnight and Ladra, who were the ones that organized this whole thing, got our tickets, made sure they were there, all that wonderful stuff. And it is really a testament to their hard work that we had this thing happen and that it went so smoothly. Like, amazing stuff. So
oh yeah, absolutely. I was seeing all those pictures and tweets yesterday. I was like, oh man, I wish I could be there. But it was cool seeing everything and getting some texts from people and videos and hellos and stuff like that. That was awesome.
We might have recorded a little video for Marconan to say hi to him.
Yeah.
Me and Eve and Midnight and we just wanted to say hi to him and make sure that we knew that that you were being missed. And it was so much fun.
I definitely felt it. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
that. That was really cool.
Thank
and I'm
you.
so glad you guys had a good time. Hope lots of turkey legs were eaten, and I saw a couple pictures.
There were some turkey legs being eaten, and I felt actually pretty bad because there were two people. There was Vessa and Epic who were there, and they made sure that they got turkey legs. But let me just preface this by saying the lines for the food were insane. Like, it was so crowded, and the lines for the food were insane. So, like, if you wanted a turkey leg, you were standing in this line for about 20 minutes to get one.
Oh, yeah.
And those two managed to get in there, and then they got it, and it was like, I don't know if this thing is fully cooked. Like, it was looking a little raw and not very appetizing to me, so I was glad that I did not deal with that.
Yeah, I would have passed on that if yeah, that's bad.
But then you waited in line for 20 minutes just for a meal, and then, trying to find a place to sit. I don't know how we managed to do what we did, but it was literally just round robining people through a picnic table that we had, and then people would sit and other people would stand, and we just told people we would meet for lunch, and it worked out really, really well. And then I had this thing, like, yesterday was my cheat day. It was my cheat day for Fit to for BlizzCon. I was like, I'm gonna enjoy myself. I want a waffle cone.
Yeah.
And I thought the waffle cone vendor was like right where all the other food was. Well, I was wrong.
Uh-oh.
And so I had it in my head that I wanted this waffle cone, and then there were all these people who were like, yeah, I want a waffle cone too, right? So we walked. We walked for another 20 to 30 minutes trying to find the waffle cone stand. And this place is not small. And so we finally had to go back to the beginning to go to the info desk, and they're like, okay, go down the right and go down the hill and go back up the hill, and it's over there. So we finally find the waffle cone vendor stand. And the line is 20 minutes long again. So I look at Kane and I'm like, maybe we shouldn't. He goes, oh, no, you don't. You made us trek all over the place to find this damn waffle cone. You are standing in this line. And I said, okay. So we stood in the line and got a waffle cone.
Was it good, though, when you finally got one?
It was delicious.
Oh, I bet.
It was so good. So yeah, I was pleased, but it's just funny.
Yeah, my cheat day was yesterday as well.
Yes.
And so I went out to a local hole-in-the-wall Chinese place and got some fried rice and crab rangoon stuff. So that was my cheat meal for the day. It was very, very tasty.
Nice. Nice.
I also know that we might have rated a little bit on Monday.
Yes.
How'd we do?
You know, we did really well. I'm trying to remember what we did. We hit one more boss? One more boss. Yeah. We got Iskar.
Yeah.
So the thing about our team, which I know we've talked about before with Cat on Fire, is that we're one night a week. We're casual in the normals, but we like to have people do what we ask them to do because we're only doing it for one night a week. And so we have Spencer, who does our raid calling for us, and their experience, they're doing heroics leading up to mythics. And so he's pretty much like saying to us, yeah, you guys follow the directions I give you, and boom, we win, which sounds easy, right?
Yeah, it sounds easy.
So he tells us, go download this add-on for Iskar that tells you what to throw the eye round to, and we're just going to do it. And we two-shot it. And we're all like, yay, yay. And he goes, no, you guys don't understand. Like, our heroic team doesn't listen as well as you do. And we're all just like, yay. Like, we're just happy. We don't realize that we have maybe accomplished a major feat of strength, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just sitting there going, yeah, this is awesome. We just killed the boss, and it's a new boss for us, and we're 8 of 13 or whatever we are. And so... And they were like, no, really, like the other mythic raiders in the team, like, no, really, like it took our team like a bunch of tries to get this done. Well, cool. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun, and we're making progress and getting gear and all that stuff. I'm getting closer to my ring, so it works. Yeah. We're having a good time though. That's what I love about it.
That's the most important thing, is that you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself. So that's what we did for Cat on Fire. I was also a guest on Convert to Raid this past week on Tuesday.
That's right, you were.
And so we got a chance to talk Legion and PvP and all these things that were announced at Gamescom, and then kind of subsequent to that. It was awesome to hang out with Darius and Zug. I haven't been on that show for like 2 years, and so it was really cool to talk. Yeah, and they're like, man, it's been a long time since you've been on, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because somebody hasn't asked me to be on. So we were just laughing about that. We're also laughing about the fact that the three of us make up the Iron Council for the Convert to Raid Guild, and all of a sudden it was like, who's running the asylum, guys? So yeah, that's been my week. It has been so busy. So today, we walked over 10,000 steps yesterday because I had my activity tracker on, and the walking. And so by the time I got home, we were just exhausted because we had to drive 2 hours to come home after dinner. And then, so we'd gotten there at like 10 in the morning, left the house at 8, been up since 6. It was like, we're tired. So today I was like, I'm lazy and I like it.
Well, it's well deserved after all that walking and all that questing for waffle cones and all of that.
So lame.
You definitely earned it.
I know. My quest to cheat on my diet, right? It's like I now get to rest because of that.
That's what it's there for. You exercised even more on your cheat day, so it's like you burn through extra calories. So You can lay around a little bit.
Yeah, and just work off all the beer we drank and stuff like that. So
Yeah, beer doesn't have any calories in it.
right, it does. It's just liquid. Liquid doesn't have calories in it.
Yeah,
so.
you can't drink calories.
Yes, you can, people. So, in any case, that has been what's been going on with us.
I am not a dietitian. Don't listen to a word I say.
We're not. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to anything we say, except what we're going to talk about with somebody else's words.
Yes.
That kind of thing, and we're going to do that now with our discussion topic. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, I think the gnome's ready too. Let's do it.
Oh
Let's
no.
kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
Every week.
Every week, this poor kid, this poor gnome. I know. All right, well, we'll let the gnome rest. He's probably needing some hospital time. So, and we'll start with our discussion question, which is as follows. Hey, Moo Crew. I'm in a long-term relationship of 2 years with my girlfriend, but occasionally in my dreams, I see myself cheating on her or just doing things with another woman that I would usually do with her, like outdoor activities. I love her and would never cheat on her in real life, but what does this say about my subconscious? Does it make me a bad person for having these intrusive thoughts? My dreams are often very strange, and I do sometimes get night tremors, if this is the correct term, from phobias which wake me up in the middle of the night, which makes me think perhaps my brain is just in overdrive mode. I would love to hear yours and the chat room's opinions on all of this. Keep on making the awesome show, and all the best to you from Torrance.
I think those are called night terrors.
I think so. This
correct.
person is from overseas, so
Okay.
yeah. So the terminology might be a little bit different between our two
True,
countries.
yeah, it might
but,
be.
Yeah. So Torrance is a male who has written about his dreams that he's having about his girlfriend or cheating on his girlfriend of 2 years. So I'm curious to know if you have thoughts about this too. I mean, I have some, but I think it'll be an interesting discussion to have about what we both think about the validity of our dreams.
Well, I'm of two categories usually when it comes to dreams, because I have had dreams like that before as well, where doing things or being in relationships with people, with other people, it's happened. And from my understanding, it happens to most people. So when I think about dreams, I usually tend to think about them in either two ways. One side is the significant, there's maybe something significant your subconscious is trying to tell you, things that your mind doesn't sort through during the day is now getting a chance to be self-reflective and kind of organize it and just try and, your brain is still going.
Yep.
So there's that category. And then there is the brain dump, where your mind just goes creative and goes way out there and just thinks things at random. And you can kind of tell the difference between it, because if you're just going and hanging out with your friends versus being invaded by vampire alien mosquitoes that have like 3 heads, and the world blows up, that's kind of, your mind is taking a creative adventure into your mind. So, and it can, it's kind of easy to tell the two, but in the end, sometimes I think it's your brain just kind of just going off on its own thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think about it. What do you think?
Couple things on this. So I have had dreams of that nature too, and I would agree with you that I think it is normal for everybody to have that kind of dream when you're in a relationship with somebody. It's just normal.
Yeah.
For me, and I can only speak for me because I'm the only one who ever sees my dreams, and I'm the only dreams that I've ever seen, is that when I dream, so when I was married to my ex-husband, I would dream that I would have those dreams like I would be cheating on him with somebody else, or that someone would show interest in me and I'd have to make a choice of whether I would stay with him or if I would go. And when the relationship was good, I would always say no. And when the relationship was failing, I would start to say yes. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was always, for me, it was like a choice. It was like you have to decide if you are going to to go along with this person who wants to express interest in you. And when my relationship was good, that answer was no. And when my relationship was really in the toilet, it was yes.
So it was like a relationship thermometer.
I think so. And
like
I
a
might
temperature
be,
gauge.
yeah, I might be completely alone in this. I don't know if other people have had the same experience or not. For people who have been in a relationship that has ended, like a serious relationship where you were committed fully to that person and you weren't going to be with anybody else, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like for these days, I have that same thing right now where I'll dream that someone is trying to woo me or trying to take me away from Kane, and I am making the decision of, do I want to or do I not want to, or will this be a bad thing, and that's the decision that goes on there, and it's always no.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to. And so that's where it's an interesting thing for me. So I just wanted to point that out to Torrance. I don't know if you've had more serious relationships, or if your dreams are similar to mine, where you're like, I am doing this, but I feel bad about it. I'm doing this in my dream, but I feel bad about it. Or I'm doing this and I don't feel bad about it. you know?
Well, when it comes to me, that I just normally in my dreams, it's like I'm watching a movie. I don't have direct control, or I'm not cognizant of decision making that's going on. It's kind of like I'm living through my own eyes in my dream, or I'm floating above it and watching it. So if I'm like in his case, maybe going hiking or something with someone else, I just accept it as the way things are. It's kind of suspending your disbelief when you go to see a movie, instead of like, there's no way someone named Iron Man could fly around in that suit because it would weigh too much. He has no energy. The laws of physics dictate. No, I don't think anything like that. I just go along with it because it's a movie. And so my mind kind of treats it in a similar way. That's why, to me, I don't put much stock in these kinds of dreams affecting me in the real world, because in those cases I don't have a choice to make. It's just I'm going along with it. And if he's not presented with that choice, maybe it's something similar to that, where it's just his brain going off on a tangent or something like that.
Well, and the other things that I was going to talk about too with that
Sure.
is that sometimes for me it has indications for the outside world in a different iteration. So I have two types of recurring dreams in my typical world. There are two of them. One of them is when I am, and I've had to read about this to figure out what it means, is one of them if I am super stressed out and feeling out of control, I dream about tornadoes. And I'll dream that I'm in some place or somewhere where a tornado is going to impact the place that I am in, and I have to hide. And I have to make sure that I save myself so that I don't get hurt. And usually it's like, I'm in a house and the tornado is coming and I hear it coming and and everybody's scared and, those kinds of things. And it can come in different forms. I could be outside, I could be in a house, I could be in a car. It happens recurringly. And I know that when I have that dream, I'm feeling like things are really out of my control. The other one is the dream that I have is that I was supposed to be at school or in a class or at college or supposed to finish college, and I was never there and I never did it. And then I'm stressed because I didn't go to that class, and I was supposed to be in that class for like 4 weeks and I didn't know it. Or I can't find my schedule and I'm supposed to be there and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And that's another version of feeling out of control, like I'm missing something or something is not right. And so I've learned to just identify when I have those dreams, like, oh, that has some impact on something that's happening on the outside. And it's my brain telling me something is bothering you even if you're not conscious of it.
Yeah. Did we talk about this off the air at some point before?
I think we have.
Because I just had, okay, good, because I had some deja vu, because I've had similar dreams, and it was like some kind of history class in college that I think I took.
Yeah.
I can't even remember if I actually took it in real life or not. I've had that dream so many times that I was not there for weeks, and then for some reason I just started showing up and the teacher was mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we did talk about this off air. If not, that was the hugest bit of deja vu I just had.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I think we've talked about it off air or something.
Yeah, I think we did. But yeah, that's and looking back, when I've had that dream, it probably has been those high stress times in my life as well. So
The
yeah,
chat
I would
room
have to agree on that one.
Yeah, the chat room is talking about Mocktailed said maybe the lover represents something interfering with the relationship, like a work or a hobby, basically seducing him away from his girlfriend. These can be anything.
Yeah.
But what I don't take stock in it is that you are literally thinking that you want to cheat on your girlfriend. I don't think that it's that literal most of the time with dreams. But I remember as a kid, I remember having a dream about a boy that I had a friendship with when I was, just 13 or something like that, and dreamt that I was in love with this guy. And when I woke up, I was like, well, I never thought of him that way. And I developed this massive crush on him after that point, So that does happen when you're your brain does process things. Like I literally was like, that guy's not somebody I would date. And then I woke up and I'm like, he'd totally be somebody I would date.
Teenage hormones.
Right? And so that's the thing that it could be as well, is that sometimes the dream manifests something that you may not have considered. I don't think that when you dream about going and doing other things with your girlfriend, but there may be a challenge in your relationship that is not satisfactory to you and you're not dealing with it, or you haven't not acknowledged it, or you haven't said it out loud to say, this is something that bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. And one of his questions he asked, does it make me a bad person for having these intrusive thoughts? And not at all. Not at all, because it's something common to just about everybody that they have these thoughts. And you can't really control your dreams unless you do those lucid dreams where you kind of semi wake up, which are awesome because I always fly. I like jump in the air and start flying like Superman. That's my default. I've got to enjoy this as long as I'm awake.
Ah, dang it.
So, yeah.
I think about too, and he mentioned in his email that he has anxiety and brain in overdrive mode, that kind of thing. There is actually some hormonal explanation behind some of the emotions that you have when you sleep. So if you've ever been like me, where, and I'm a lot of people I know do this, is that you've been sleeping, you wake up sometime in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, with very strong emotions about situations that have been going on in your day, like super strong, like you're super happy, or you're super sad, or you're super mad, or you're super frustrated. It's very heightened at that time of night. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, why was I so whipped up and out of shape with that stuff, And you don't feel the same way as you did when you were waking up in that middle of the night situation. And that is hormonal. That is actually, brain chemical, all of that thing happening. I've read about it. I can't remember the name of it anymore, and I'm not an expert. But the point that I'm making is that I'm sure everybody's experienced this at least once. And those phobias and those night terrors that you're having are kind of being amplified because your brain is working overtime in rest mode while you're sleeping.
Yeah, I think so too. I have had that before, where I've had dreams that were very violent and very upsetting, and you just wake up just bawling.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it's not real, and then it's one of the best feelings ever. Like, oh, I'm actually in my bed, and not everyone around me is dead, so that's good. But then
I'm not being chased somewhere by a murderer.
And then you wake up from the dream where you won the lottery, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to spend my money. Oh man, get that let down,
Yeah, it sucks.
That happened once.
Those dreams that you have where you're like, I totally wish that dream was real, and then you wake up and you're like, I totally am glad that dream was not real. Like you can't. Somebody should write a story about someone who can control whether the dream would be real or not when you wake up, because you'd only get one or the other,
Yeah.
It'd be a really
Choose
cool
yes
one.
or no.
Yes. Would you like this dream to be real or not? No.
Zombie vampires? Yes.
Yes.
You are crazy. They're zombies and vampires. They want your blood and your brains. There's no winning.
This is like, you're screwed. Why don't you just stop dreaming now?
Just wake up already.
Please wake up. Please wake up. But dreams can really, really wreck your comfort level too. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can have a really tough time. You know, night terrors are awful.
Yeah.
You know, when you've woken up believing, I woke up one time believing that Kane was dead. Like I woke up, like I was literally having that dream. I woke up, he was next to me, and I was just like, you know, terrified, just fully on terrified that was real. And it was just like, that is serious business. And if they are happening more and more, I would recommend considering therapy, because there's something there that is really trying to get its way out of you in your subconscious. That's my theory. But I would really push for you to consider therapy if you are somebody who is dealing with that. You're dealing with a lot of night terrors. You're dealing a lot of disrupted sleep from bad dreams that are causing you problems. Then yeah, definitely. Because that can get really serious, and it can be a manifestation of whatever is really going on, which you may have buried way down deep.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That is something to consider.
Yeah. So I guess our summary in this one is, does it make you a bad person to have these intrusive thoughts? Absolutely not.
Nope. Not at all.
But I would, if you have the opportunity, just to give you kind of some coping mechanisms with this, if you remember the dreams, or you can take a moment when you wake up and you have some paper or your phone or something at your bedside, dictate a brief thing about what you dreamt about. You know, make an audio note, or transcribe a note in your phone to just say, tonight I dreamt this and this and this. This is what happened. And when you wake up, you'll have a little bit clearer mind to remember what it was that you dreamt. It might help you a little bit.
Yeah, dream journal.
Yep. Because I do think that those can help you if you're starting to see recurring patterns. That's what I had to do. It's what I had to do when I was having those. I was having tornado dreams like daily. And there is nothing worse than feeling like you're going to die because there's a tornado that's going to tear your house in half, or a house that you don't even know that you're hiding from it. And so starting to look for patterns, and then also kind of talking, side by side of what you dreamt and what are your stressors in life right now.
Yeah, that's very good, because I know I've heard of people using dream journals just to use it as a creative outlet, like maybe using some of that material for other things, but to really combine it with kind of a self-analysis of what's going on in your life. That's a really good addition to that.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. And it's just a couple things to think about. I mean, obviously we're not experts on this, and we can only really go from our own experiences.
We're just fellow dreamers. And I don't know if you've told your girlfriend about it or not. If you've, I don't know. Jules, do you think it would hurt if he mentioned it and he's like, I'm having these weird dreams. I don't know. Can you backtrack from it? Or do you really think, that I guess that would go with knowing the girlfriend and how she would react first, I guess.
And that's a delicate conversation.
That is very delicate.
But because especially when it doesn't come with any emotion to say, yeah, I totally dreamt that I cheated on you last night. And then your significant other goes, whoa, what? What exactly did you dream? And Tiber COD in the chat room said, I don't know if leaving a record of cheating dreams around the house is such a great idea. I would agree with that in the fact that, but you should have something that is, your private journal, or a place, there are applications on your phone that you can actually keep a passcode on if you wanted to for notes. Mm-hmm. I have one of those. It's like called Safety Note or something like that. And I can just put in things that I have to put in a code to be able to do. So, just something to think about. I am not encouraging hiding things from her, but mm-hmm. I also don't want to encourage you to have a moment of crisis with her either. If you feel like it's something that really requires some communication, that's one thing. But if you're just kind of sorting it out to figure it out, that's another.
Yeah, and you can always play this episode back to her to show that there's no ill intent.
Yes.
To see that we're talking about it as well, and that we're not encouraging anything. We're just saying for the record,
That's actually a fantastic idea, Marconin. I like that.
Yeah. If she has any questions like, why are you writing about other women? No, it's okay. These two people on the internet, we're talking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So that's a good suggestion as well. I like it. Anything else that you wanted to talk about with this?
Not really. We've covered pretty much all I had an idea for, and then some, because of all the extra stuff we talked about. So yeah, it doesn't make you a bad person. A lot of times it's your brain just going, I don't know, here's some stuff. But, kind of think of it in terms of it not literally being another woman. Think about it being something else in your life that may be interfering or just may be on your mind, something that may be stressing you out or causing any confusion, something like that. It's just, it could go a lot deeper in meaning than just the literal dreams that you're having.
Exactly. So we hope that this helps a little bit to kind of square things in your brain, feel a little bit more comfortable with what's going on. And we'd love an update if you'd love to give us one after you've given it some thought, spent some time with it. Questions at taurenThinkTank.com. We'd like your opinions too, as a chat room, as an audience, just to see if you have similar things that you wanted to talk about with that maybe we didn't cover.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have dreams like that? How do you interpret them? How do you get through them or reflect on them? What's your take? Let us know.
Exactly. And of course, if you have your own discussion topics that you'd like us to cover for the show, you can send them over to questions at taurenThinkTank.com as well. All right. So now it is time to do some things about the think tank that we have, which is usually related to WoW. And it happens to be related to WoW this week because we have one. So let's do the think tank right now.
Let's do it.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's time for the think tank. It's the part of the show where we have a letter from you related to things related to people, to WoW, to people in WoW, to all the things that we have as people. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be about WoW. This time it happens to be about WoW. So
that was one heck of an intro.
Right? I know. I make this up on the fly, people. All right, so here it is. Dear Triple T, I've been a member of my guild for quite some time, and I've recently been promoted to officer for my leadership, my enthusiasm, and effort put in to run guild events. I have developed some great friendships and found a place to call home since my previous guild blew up. It has taken me nearly a year to find a good place to call home, and things have been going well, up until a point. I can't tell you when this happens, but it feels like nobody cares about the guild anymore. Most of the officers are involved in participating in a raid group or running a dungeon or two with their own pre-made groups. With the exception of one raid, the officers, myself included, don't really run anything fun for the guild. I can't even tell you exactly when I tried to run something out, but I know the interest in participation was very low. In some cases, we were actually bribing folks to participate. The problem is that I feel like that the other officers, who are all veterans compared to me, are all okay with this. Our numbers stay somewhat stable, folks come and go, but participation as a group and guild, besides raiding with select individuals, is so low that our last event may have been 2 years ago. I've thought about leaving before to reach out and meet new people, but I'm not really a people person. My public persona is very different, but in reality I feel very awkward around people. I've seen folks up and leave our guild and then wish they had never have. The whole grass looks greener on the other side thing. The biggest reason why I've never left is because of the people I've met. I've really enjoyed playing with them, and I know if I were to leave the guild, time spent with those folks would inevitably dwindle to nothing. I've made my feelings known to the other officers and even went so far as to organize monthly meetings. When I couldn't attend one because of real-life happenings, I asked if someone could run it for me. Sure, they said. I learned no one bothered to even show up. That was the last time I tried running anything, to be sure. I always read things about other guilds that have a lot of participation by active officers and wish that we could have the same enthusiasm and dedication to get it there. Don't get me wrong, we have some really great people, but I find myself continually at odds with how the guild is being managed and the lack of effort being put out by everyone, officers, players, everyone, myself included. I've gone so far as thinking about just demoting myself to member and carrying on, but I really don't see the point of that either. I think it would cause more strife than what it's worth, and that's definitely not what I want. I don't see the guild management changing their tune, but I'm having a real hard time letting go. I do plan on talking with one of our lead officers about this and make sure he is completely aware of where I stand. I'm pretty sure I know what I need to do, but I'm not really sure I'm ready to take that step yet. What to do? From Anonymous.
So we got a someone who wants to encourage more events and more kind of camaraderie around in the guild, but it seems like not everybody else is kind of up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a hard place to be.
I gotta say that it's almost an impossible place to be.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
hard.
It really is, because you want it to happen, but no one else does. It's kind of like you're fighting the incoming tide, kind of, because no one else wants to put forth the effort, and it's just like you said, it's almost like an impossible place to be.
Yeah, because the problem is you can't make people be motivated.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
You can't do it. You can say, "Hey, cheerleader team, let's do it. Yeah, let's be awesome, guys. Woo!" And then
they're all texting on their phone like, whatever.
and they're all like, "What a lame idiot you are for being so like rah rah rah," right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It's a culture that has now become what it is, and you can't create a culture. You have to organically let it happen. And if there's no motivation behind people wanting to do things together, I've had people come in and been like, I think we should do more stuff. Like in previous guilds I've been in, this has happened where you guys don't do enough stuff. I'm going to go do stuff. And sometimes it can work, but hell of a lot of work to get it there.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. And if there aren't people who want that and they're not excited about it, or they don't feel like it is being worth their time, it's going to take a lot of convincing and trying to steer a cruise ship. Make it do a 180, which is like,
it's like trying to turn a cruise ship with just you and an oar.
Right.
It takes a lot of work if no one's willing to help you.
Yeah, and it can happen. I mean, you can eventually make that cruise ship move and dock in the place you want it to, but is your time and effort going to be worth the absolute results? And that's the big thing. So
yeah.
I stressed about, like, when I think about, so let me give you an example. In the Convert to Raid Guild, I am one of the Iron Council members. There was Zug, our guild master, said, I think we should do these officer meetings for people every month, and we should talk about, issues that are going on and have the meetings. And people would show up to these meetings. You'd get people, some people to show up, and I was mixing up the days, and I was, coming up with Sunday this month and a Tuesday this month and a Wednesday this month, because everybody's schedules are just, everybody's got raid and stuff and blah. And so we'd do these meetings, and I'd bring these topics, and nobody would say anything. And then we'd go the next month, and I'd be like, nobody's got anything. And I'm like, why am I putting in the effort to do this if you guys aren't getting anything out of it? But I started saying, okay, so this isn't working. So what do you guys want to do? Like, you're here.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do? Nobody said anything. So I got to the point where I was like, well, no more officer meetings. I don't have the time anyway for trying to show up for things that people don't want to do. And it frustrated me. And then I had some people saying, well, why aren't we having officer meetings? I'm like, because nobody said anything in them.
Yeah, you weren't getting anything accomplished. No one had any problems to bring up.
Yeah. And so what he's saying is that they had these meetings that and nobody even showed up to it because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
It wasn't important to them. And so, and I'm not going to force someone to speak up in a meeting. I don't want to force people to be uncomfortable. And if that's not where they are, I'm just like, you know what? We're going to do something else with that time. And if you need help otherwise, that's the problem. So, you can't make people do anything that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Not easily.
I've seen in guilds before where we would have like a monthly transmog thing. Like, let's go run. Gosh, what was old back then? Like Nax. Let's go do Nax. And people are like, I don't want any gear from Nax. And if I don't get anything out of it, I don't want to go. It's like you've got to have people that are excited about it, that want to do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you're lacking right now, are people that either care enough to support it or that enjoy going, that want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because there's the people who will organize it that don't really need the transmog gear, and then there's the people that want the transmog gear that want to be there.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like you don't have very many of either of that group. And, but you've got a stable guild that's kind of just on autopilot, it seems. And I know kind of, you could, in this expansion, you could blame garrisons and the general culture of the entire, like culture of all the players right now. They just log in, garrison, log out, or log in, garrison, raid, garrison, log out. There's nothing really sticking them around for an extended period of time to go do these things. And, that could be what it is right now, in addition to the culture of the guild itself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, kind of kicking you when you're down, because you've got this situation with the guild, plus people not really, on the whole, being in the game very much.
Yeah.
And, I know you said you're not really a people person, but if you want the culture to change in your guild, you kind of have to bring people in that want to be there and want to do things.
Yeah.
It like Jules was saying earlier, it's got to grow organically. And in that case, you've got to bring in people that are willing to spearhead these things to help you.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it all yourself, because you'll just go nuts with it. You'll just get so burned out that you'll just, whatever, forget it. So you kind of need some lieutenants in this. You need some some commanding officers. You need a Will Riker to your Captain Picard.
Yeah.
A Spock to your Kirk. These kind of things.
Star Trek stuff.
I have to. It's
Star
in the
Trek
blood.
stuff.
It's in the blood, Jules. It's in the blood. But
I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Though.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever seen the movie Can't Buy Me Love from the 80s with Patrick Dempsey?
It's not ringing a bell right off the top of my head. I may
Okay.
have seen it, but it's not ringing a bell.
Okay. So basically the premise of it is that there's a very, very nerdy guy. He wants to, he gets a bunch of cash from mowing lawns, and he finds the most popular girl in school and wants to date her. And he basically buys her as his girlfriend, and she pretends to like him for a month to make him cool. Okay.
Oh, I
so,
see.
Okay. So let me get a little further in this. There's a scene in Can't Buy Me Love where he learns this dance because he's going to a school dance and he doesn't know how to dance at all. So he watches what he thinks is American Bandstand, but it turns out to be some tribal dance that is really, really freaky, right?
Uh-oh.
And so he gets out on the dance floor and he starts to do this really weird dance, and everybody looks at him like, what the hell is wrong with you? But his girlfriend, quote unquote, decides that she is going to go along with it because he's paying her.
Yeah.
And she starts doing the dance along with him, and soon all the other people who think she's awesome start doing the dance, and then the whole school is doing the dance. And the reason I bring this up is because this is what I envision when it comes to a situation where everybody kind of feels the same way currently in your guild. You're all kind of like, well, I'm just comfortable in my world. I'm comfortable with my people. I have all these things that I just do, and I don't need to break out of my little shell. And then you got somebody out there who's all of a sudden starting to break the mold a little bit, and you kind of look at them and go, oh, well, that is kind of weird. Like, you're doing something that isn't the norm, and I don't know if I like it. But somebody who you trust or who you endorses this action, and suddenly it becomes cool.
Yeah, I've heard of. There's a term for that, and I don't remember what it is, but I've. Oh gosh, it was some video on YouTube. Yeah, that kind of conformity thing. Yeah, it's good. When you have support, it lends. It gives more weight to whatever you're doing if other people kind of follow your lead. And then it seems, like you were saying, the other girl starts dancing and the other one's like, well, maybe it's not so dorky. Maybe let's do that. And they kind of join in, and you kind of infect other people with this idea, and that it's cool to do it. So yeah, you're right. If you get some, I guess going back to earlier, getting some lieutenants, some people that want to do this, to spread this idea of doing these extra events and having more fun. And because it's the end of the expansion-ish. We're on the last patch.
Yeah.
You got to invent your fun things to do. If you've already, done LFR and you've seen, Archimon, spoiler alert, You know, Archimon goes down and Gul'dan goes through the thing. Expansion over, Draenor free. Now you've got to do fun stuff. We're on the tail end waiting for Legions. So this is a really good time
Yeah.
to you know, when people are kind of burned out on all the common stuff, this is when you can start doing those like what was it, like skydiving out of Dalaran sewers to try and hit the target, and whoever gets closest gets 1,000 gold or whatever it is. All these goofy things you can do in game. You know, a mount run from Stormwind to Booty Bay. Whoever gets there first without using anything else, no teleports or nothing, wins. You know, you can really kind of find these cool things. And I'm sure there's places all over the internet to find these ideas, the extra things you can do, or you can ask people, you know, what did you do when you get bored? You know, do you just help guildies run? You know, let's do a random alt night. You know, you usually tank, make a DPS. I usually heal, I'll tank.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of make some other things to do. There's lots of things to spur interest, but you've got to have some people on your side first, I think.
Yes, and you as an officer can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can recruit people that are like that.
Mm-hmm. So that's when it, sadly, but not so sadly, falls on your shoulders. If this is what you want and you're not really cool on leaving the guild and joining another guild, this is the spark starts with you.
Yep.
And that's where it'll spread from. So it falls to your shoulders. I know it's a bit of responsibility, but if this is what you want and you want it bad enough, by golly, you can do it.
Yeah. LL says in the chat room, said, look up the first follower on YouTube, similar and a great message. Something similar to what I was talking about earlier. I have not seen it, so I will make sure that I do.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the thing that you can do is create the world that you want. Like if there are certain things that you want to have involved, like people to be more involved in, that you might just start to work with another person, even from outside the guild, that you might be able to bring in later to just go do those things. And, you know, that you start to, because I feel like that can really snowball into something, you know, where someone goes, wow, they look like they're having fun. What is that? Oh,
yeah.
Maybe I should. Do you guys do this every week? I might just want to go on that. You know, it's just creating that little spark. And you have to kind of think of it, though, as hitting an ember and letting it start to grow, because you cannot, you can't take this cruise ship and steer it with the oar, as Marconin so very well said.
Yeah.
So you might just need to change the little parts if this is really what you want to see. And if there are the people that you mentioned in here that you really like, that you might just start to ask them if they would like to do one of those, like one or two of those people to go do something like that. The word spreads.
Mm-hmm. And you can look outside of your guild for this. I mean, I don't know how trade chat is on your server, but maybe set out a few feelers. Like if you're going to go do Mogushan vaults, you know, try for the mountain there, or some transmog, be like, hey, looking for more for this, you know, hey, if you guys are interested, we're going to do it again next week, or do something else against next week. You want me to add you? Like do friend requests or something.
Yep.
Bring them along, and if they like it enough, they may join your guild, and boom, you've got some extra people. You've got some lieutenants ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where it starts. Like you said, Jules, it's an ember. You have to start that spark at that little bit of ember, slowly add fuel to the fire. You can't just throw gasoline on it, because whoa, shiny, and now it's gone.
Exactly.
You've really got to build it up.
Yeah, and if that is really not in your wheelhouse, it's not something that you want, I gotta say that then you probably need to go find another place that does that already, that you can integrate into, because that is going to make you happier. Not everybody is a leader, and not everybody is an instigator of things like this, you know? So, and that's okay. You just have to accept the fact that this might be who you are, and it doesn't fit to that all the other things that you talked about. And then, you know, there are people out there that are doing it, and some people do that work, and then you can enjoy that along with them. So there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm going to just go. If that's what you want, you have to just decide what's the right thing for you. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Or make an alt, make an alt and go do something. You know, if you're very tied to that guild and the fact that your character's there, you can always make an alt if you want to. If you have one, take them out of the guild, go find somewhere else. You know, that there's lots of options. But yeah, definitely. If I know for me personally, I'm not. I'm not. I don't think I would be as good a leader as Jules is. Like I know I've kind of got a little bit of leadership stuff, but I don't not up to her caliber.
But that's
So,
and there's
but
nothing
that's
wrong
okay.
with that
Yeah,
because
there's
we're
nothing wrong
just
with it.
two different people.
Yeah.
I can stand in front of a group and be like, okay, let's go do stuff, let's go move people, let's do this. And and Marconin is more comfortable to not do that, and that's
You heard the lady. Let's do it.
yeah.
That's kind of my leadership. It's like, you heard her. Let's go.
Follow that lead right there.
Yeah.
And then that's what I did. I mean, I did it at the Ren Faire. It's like, hey guys, here's what we're gonna do. We'll see you guys at 1:00. Because that's where my natural state can be in that way. But I would not force someone else to do that if they're not comfortable, because then it sucks.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's some things for you to think about, Anonymous.
Absolutely. So I hope that this has helped your perspective a little bit. It gives a different feel to, and just on a closing note too, I don't think that you're alone here in terms of people dealing with this kind of thing. We know that a new expansion is coming somewhat timely bit. We don't know when, but it's been announced
Soon.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, not a lot of stuff in WoW right now that's totally motivating me to stay, except for raiding. And I love my raid team, and so that's why I'm there every week. And it's a conversation that I will tell you that large guilds like ours for Convert to Raid have had discussions about how do you keep the community engaged, and you have to go to where the community is. If the community is starting to drift to other games as like Hearthstone and Diablo and Heroes and that kind of thing, then you have to adjust something for that. And I've talked to our event staff has talked about that. We talk about these things because it's important to us. So I don't think that you're alone here, and I just wanted to point that out.
Not at all. And just it's definitely some stuff to think about, and we hope that whatever you do, that you enjoy the game as much as you want to, because it's your $15 or WoW token, I guess now.
Yeah, exactly.
Do whatever makes you happy in the game. Either start the spark or go join another fire. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and find out what's most comfortable for you. Don't feel like you have to force it.
Yeah.
But those options are there. But just something to think about. That sometimes that little brightening that ember and letting it grow to a fire could really turn out to well in your favor if you're willing to put in the time.
And we hope the best for you either way.
Absolutely. And we'd love to hear what's going on in a couple weeks after everything is kind of settled. You can send your update to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. Anything that you guys want us to talk about for the show, send it over. Catching up a little bit on our backlog. Slightly bit. So
yeah, we'll get to you.
We'll get to you eventually.
We'll get to you.
Do you see the cat? This is his normal state.
I have to check that. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
He's just upside down and stretched out. That's his normal state.
Gosh, that looks comfortable.
It's totally comfortable. You guys will have to check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely check out the cat cam. He is relaxed. That is one relaxed cat.
He loves it when Mom's on a podcast. All right. We're going to do some Tell Us One Thing right now.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It is time for Tell Us One Thing, and it's brought to you by...
It is brought to you by the Iron Man Challenge. It's one of the most difficult challenges in World of Warcraft. If you don't know what that is, you level your character all the way up only using white and gray quality armor. You can't use no potions, elixirs, what are you talking about? Heirlooms, you don't even know what those are, don't even think about them. And more importantly, if you die, you start back at level 1, baby. Sorry. So sorry. That little, take candle, and you die to that? Start back over. Thousands have tried, and it's tough, believe me, I've tried it too. Less than a dozen have succeeded in this ultimate test of strength, endurance, and skill in Warlords of Draenor. So, the question remains, are you up for the challenge? And if you are, check out wowchallenges.com. That's got your places for all your Iron Man Challenge needs, wants, and tips and tricks. And be sure to follow WoW Challenges on Twitter as well.
Awesome. All right, we start with Ivory Tiger's question. If you could live or work anywhere else in the world, where would you?
Bristol, Wisconsin. Oh,
It's kind of cool. There's stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of exotic places that I would want to visit for sure. Like, I'd love to go to Japan one day. Australia, absolutely. New Zealand, who wouldn't want to? Goodness, just pretty much everywhere exotic in the world. Where I would want to live would be a place that's got nice medium temperatures, where it's not too hot, not too cold, and just a nice kind of variety of weather. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough because I love home. I love the South, but by golly, does it get warm and humid in the summer, and also tornadoes. I'm still in Tornado Alley, so we do get those. And trying to think. Midnight said that would not be Bristol. Just saying.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with Bristol. But it's kind of out of the way. It's close to Milwaukee-ish, close to Kenosha. These are decent sized cities, but I don't know if that would be like your permanent vacation spot.
Yeah. Great to visit, but wouldn't want to live there type of thing.
Right.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the Chicago area when I was up there last year for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge airport hub, so I could hop on a plane and go just about anywhere in one flight. Normally here, I fly out of Little Rock, and I go to Chicago, or I go to Atlanta, or I go to Dallas, and then Phoenix too.
Yeah.
And then I go to wherever my destination is. So I'm always hopping on two planes. Whereas with Chicago, I can usually just hop on one plane. Mm-hmm. I'd be closer to an airport that supports me seeing my friends more. Or I would only be a few hours drive from some other internet friends that I don't know might live up north from Chicago. I don't know who those would be, but I could see them every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Zytam in the chat room is asking if that's a cam or if that's a still picture. It's a cam. I'll wave my hand in front of it. There you go.
A live feline feed.
That is my hand right there. See? That's my hand. All right. So
cat's not moving, but it's
he's sleeping very well. They love the cat cam. I'm keeping it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I think it's a nice addition.
Yeah.
But if I could, man, I would almost say somewhere in England, because because then I could go up to Scotland and work on my Scottish accent, which is something I really want to work on. There's a lot of places. I got friends in England. My friend Ruth lives there. I could hop around to Europe a little bit, but that might be like a summer home, go to England or something like that. That would be about it. What about you, Jules? Where would you want to go? Someplace with less snow? Someplace with more snow? Someplace with no snow?
No snow. I'm tired of snow. I hate snow because the problem is I don't mind snow for what it is. Like when it snows and it's pretty and it's quiet. Like there's a stillness that happens when it snows that doesn't happen any other time because everything stops. And I love that. But then you've got to get up in the morning and you've got to shovel it and you got to drive in it and people can't drive in it and you get into accidents and you're tracking snow and everything. I hate snow. So that's why I hate snow. So I would live probably either Hawaii or San Diego.
Not bad ideas.
Been to both places. Hawaii would be, the only stressor for Hawaii would be that it would be so far away from everything. Mm-hmm. And it just more expensive to live and, probably not the best internet in the world. So that would be kind of hard. But San Diego is like the perfect temperature for me. It's like in the mid 70s and sunny with the beach by there. I would be the happiest human being in the world because I love the beach. I love the ocean, the sound of the ocean. Love the smell of the ocean. And I love it. I would, so every time I go to California, I'm like, I want to live in California. And Kane goes, you can't live in California. And I go, I know.
But I wanna.
But I want to so bad. So, yeah, that's where I would choose.
Yeah. All good ideas.
Yeah.
All good suggestions.
Yep. Absolutely. You want to read the next one?
Sure. This next one comes from Caspin. Hey guys, I'm listening to the show with Anthony Bean, and it's so great. My question, though, I'm going to be asking for a 10% raise soon and meeting with someone pretty high up who I feel very comfortable with talking to about this. But for those without that contact, in response to being paid what you think you're worth and what the market says you're worth, how do you go about asking for a significant pay raise? Let's assume the raise was warranted, the employee is an above average performer, ambitious, and enjoys their job. And they also put in a slash move.
That's from Caspin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you go and ask for a raise? I think it's literally just having a meeting set up with your boss and to say, I want to talk to you about my my compensation. I've been at this job and really make a case for yourself. I've been at this job for this long. I feel like I have really done above what I am expected, and give some examples. And I would like to ask you, if I can be compensated, I'd like to get a raise because it'd be awesome for me. And I think that I have earned it, be confident in saying, I believe I have earned this. And, because of this. And if they just say, I don't believe that, then you know where you stand. Some places, if you work in any place corporate, good luck, because they have such tight regulations on how much they can allow someone to get paid that you are pretty much you're at their mercy. They decide if they can even give a merit increase every year if you're lucky. If you don't work for corporate and you've got the opportunity to do that, then that's your opportunity. You work for corporate, so you know what that is.
Yeah, I do, and my yearly review is coming up next month, and I've only been in my position, like where I'm at, for just a couple months now. So, but my my reputation has preceded myself, from what I understand. So I'm hoping it goes well, and I've been working my tail off doing extra things. So I'm hoping that it works. And I'm going to, and I kind of like this question because I have the same thought going around in my head. How am I going to ask for a raise?
Yeah.
Because I have the experience. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I think I deserve a bump. That being said, at work, we have pay grades where you've got a low, mid, and a high range. Mm-hmm. And as you approach the high range, they start giving you smaller and smaller raises. To get smaller increments. So you may be in this situation, or somebody out there may be in this situation. So you've kind of got your hands tied. But if that person, one thing I would say in addition to that is if the person says they don't think you're worth the raise, ask them, is there anything extra I can be doing? What can I do to improve? That's always something that people want. Managers want to hear, and they want to give you advice to improve yourself, because if you're willing to do the work and be better and to really improve, that improves your chances of them remembering and be like, well, he really did, and the next time around they may give you an increase.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you've got to be willing to not only do the footwork, but will be willing to do it again in the future.
Yeah.
So don't kind of walk away defeated, walk away educated.
Yeah.
Learn something on your way out the door. What can you do to improve?
Yeah. I'm also going to amend one of the things that I said based on what you pointed out, saying pay grades. And I would ask if there are limits to how much your pay grade is allowed to get. Like if the company has a limit, like corporate, they'll have limits, like a top limit, a mid limit, and a low limit of what your pay grade is, or what your job specification is, because they go out and they officially classify your job, and some of them go out there and they compare them to others, those things that are people who do your job in other industries or other corporations or that kind of thing. So you should ask first if they even have something like that established, because that will help you to know what you're actually asking. If you could sit there and make your big speech and say, I think I'm worth it, and they say, well, but that's awesome, but we've paid you the maximum that we are permitted to then you're just like, so how do I get there? How do I get to the next level, or what's the, if I'm at the max, where can I go from here? And then what you said earlier, Marconin, which is, how can I do that? How can I improve?
And that information is something that your boss or someone in the company should be more than willing to give to you. I know with me, I did not know where I sat on my pay grade forever.
Yeah.
And that was a situation at my job where my bosses I kept bouncing between 3 different managers in a year because of the way we kept getting reclassified. And finally somebody I was talking to them and they're like, well, you don't know where you sit on the thing? I was like, I don't even know where the limit is. Oh, well, here, I can look that up for you. And they looked it up for me and they showed me. I was like, oh, okay, I've got room to grow. Awesome. So I know where I stand. And that's something that you can definitely do if you're in that type of pay grade structure.
Right.
You know, that's something you can always get.
Absolutely. So that's what we would say. And good luck, Caspin.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you get it.
That was like a mini discussion topic right there.
It was actually given to us as a discussion topic, but I felt like it fit better here because I don't think it could have fit in the time frame of a discussion topic. So yeah that's why I put it here.
Yeah, good luck to you, Caspin.
Yeah. All right. From Alessander. I've always enjoyed the Blizzard art style, but lately Draenor has caused me to spend so much time in the old world. I've started noticing the old textures and lower polygon counts. How do you feel about the older art? Do you not play that as much in older content, so don't care? Or care enough that Blizzard should sacrifice newer content to go back and redo older pieces? Would it bother you to see a 2015 building planted beside a grove of 2004 trees and squirrels?
Well, the older art doesn't bother me in the sense that it's just like, oh, I can't believe we had textures that bad. It's just, the game shows its age.
Yeah.
And that's one thing with transmog that's kind of weird is you put yourself in tier 1 or tier 2 gear from vanilla and you're still in your high polygon count character.
Right.
It looks weird.
It does.
And I don't think that the devs should go so far out into using their resources to rebuild older art. I don't think they should update the world.
Right.
That's way too big of a thing to do. That's something that they kind of tweaked at in Cataclysm. There you go. That's what we got. That shows the progression and the growth in the game. I'm cool with that. One thing that I think they could do is maybe like the older key art sets. We're getting Ashbringer for crying out loud for Red Pallies and Doomhammer. Let's maybe upgrade tier 1 and tier 2's textures. Because Paladin tier 2 in the current textures and resolution and polygons would look amazing with that Ashbringer.
It's true.
And I think that's something that they could maybe work on a little bit and just update the graphics for those key tier gear sets.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do it so much on the world at all because anywhere else we go in the world, the Broken Island's brand new, so there's not going to be any 2004 trees there. It's all going to be new stuff and moose mounts. Yes, all the new things like that. So that's the kind of idea that I've going. We need to keep on going forward, but pay homage to the old stuff and update it where need be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I agree with you 100%. The older art, of course, has some nostalgia attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
One of my most favorite places in the game is right outside of Astronar. Kind of going up the hill as you were coming in from, was it
Darkshore?
Darkshore?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you come up the hill and there's this beautiful pink tree that comes up the hill. It was like my favorite thing, and it's very pixelated. I mean, it's very low polygon count. You can tell it's a computer tree. It's not like, the beautiful things that they've created these days. But it was one of my favorite things, and so I don't think you want to go back there and repurpose all that stuff. It just, nobody is spending enough time there to really make it worth the time. But the first time that you really saw Lich King and some of the changes that they made in the graphics there and how cool and smooth some of it was, that was really neat. I guess for me, I'm not going to ask, I wouldn't be wanting to ask them to do repurposing of older art. More like I'm more interested in them integrating Azeroth together with what we do every day and not, just keep us isolated into one section of it. I would love it if I could get out there more, to see some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think the artifact weapon quest chain will help with that.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Because, we'll at least at the outset, you'll have to get your weapon from somewhere. And they said that, like with the Frost DKs, they're going to get the 2 one-handed rune blades, and they're going to have to go to Ice Crown Citadel and find the lost shards of Frostmourne.
Right.
So I think if they keep that progressing and let us kind of go out into the world, because we are back home, we're back on Azeroth. I think that'll be cool. And for newer players, it'll show us where we've been. And they won't go like, ooh, that's gross polygon. Kind of like, oh, wow, check out this canyon or this mountain or all this forest. Look at that pink tree, like Jules said.
The pink tree.
The pink tree. And so I think that's good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the answer to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and read.
Do.
Go ahead and read the next one.
From Geek is Cool. Do you think the Darkmoon Fair should or could be open every weekend or stay only once a month?
I guess I don't go to the Darkmoon Fair really at all, so it doesn't affect me a ton. I've never been a fan of the Darkmoon Fair. I just never have. It's just not been something that I've, get excited that it's coming. Like, I know there are a lot of people that are like, oh, it's Darkmoon Fair week. But I think that's what it's all about, is that people get excited that it's Darkmoon Fair week. It's an event. It's something to look forward to. And you only get a week to do it, and then it goes away for 3 weeks, and so it becomes an event. So I would say keep it the same and don't open it up all the time, because then people would never go there. There's no urgency.
Yeah. Would you go to the Ren Fair every weekend?
No.
There you go. Same thing. It's don't cry because it's gone. Smile because it happened and will happen again next month.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's occasional, but that's what makes it special.
Exactly.
If I could, and like for me, I don't go to the Darkmoon Fair anymore either, because I have both the mounts, so I don't need it.
Yeah.
But eventually I may go back for some transmog stuff or something. If they add the dance studio, maybe put that in one of those buildings.
Exactly.
If they give me a reason to go, I'll go, pretty much. But right now, there's not really a reason for me to go. So I think keeping it occasional it's their intention, and they're going to keep it going forward.
I think it's in the true spirit of a fair. Most fairs are not open year round or every day or every weekend. It's a certain time frame. It's only for a short amount of time. Like, you've got to make sure you go. Like, our Ren Fair is only from the middle part of July to Labor Day. And so when you want to go, you've got to figure out which weekend works the best for you, because you've only got a couple in the summer that you can make it work, which, it is what it is. So, and that's what makes it special for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
From the Buckster, I love this question so much. How would you describe your week? Spirit fingers or middle fingers? I laughed so hard when I saw this question. I thought it was awesome. Well, of course, it's been good. Spirit fingers for me. It's been all spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers.
I would kind of go in the middle. I'd just go thumbs up, because it's been a good week. It hasn't been like OMG amazing, because I didn't get to eat turkey legs and waffle cones, but it wasn't a terrible week, so there's no middle fingers. So thumbs up for me is kind of in the middle, but leaning towards the good.
You get 2 fingers, and not the middle ones.
Yeah. The next one comes from Midnight. Which Darkmoon Fair games and delicacies would you like to be in the real world games at the Ren Fair?
Oh, I'm trying to remember now, because I don't spend a lot of time.
I'd want the little robo tank, like the little tonk tank to go around.
Oh, yes.
Shoot the other tanks. I like that one. I don't know about shooting yourself out of the cannon and landing in the little landing in the sea out there. I don't know if my heart could take that one.
I would say let's have some pet battles over at the Ren Fair, but fake pets, not real animals, just fake pets.
And I can't remember all the food from the Darkmoon Fair, but if there's like a take on funnel cakes, I'd like that. I like funnel cakes.
I swear this Ren Fair that we went to has so many like bad for you stuff, like garlic mushrooms and fried tempura and crepes and
oh man,
I mean,
I'm already hungry.
I know. It is like, if you want bad food, you just go to the Ren Fair and eat bad food. And so that
any deep fried Oreos?
You know what, they don't do that kind of thing.
I figured it is a little too modern those were interesting. I had those once.
I have never had that, but like Ladra and Eve had the cheesecake on a stick. They managed to get that.
Oh man.
You know, and
I want
it's just
that.
all these different things that you can really, you know, that are really, really bad for you. I mean, you know, you first walk in and they've got pickles on a stick, which are not bad for you at all. So yeah, but
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh man, cheesecake, and I don't have to have a plate or a fork to eat it. Oh man,
I know you're like, damn.
I love cheesecake anyway, but to put it on make it portable,
And make it
I can eat it
portable?
I can eat it on the go. Oh, man about town with a cheesecake in his hand.
Yes. Be
Oh
awesome.
man,
That'd be awesome.
that does sound deliciously awesome.
From Draven Dresden, you have one form of entertainment forever, one game, one movie, one TV show episode. What do you choose?
So we only get one.
One of
those?
any of those. Just one.
Geez, World of Warcraft. I'll get expansions. I'll get to do different things. That's all right. I get more story than I can in a single movie. You know, more tales to tell than a TV show episode, especially one episode of one TV show. I'd say World of Warcraft. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could just keep on playing. That's
Yeah.
the easy one. Easy way out.
As long as you, it's if you can only have one game, so then do the expansions count as additional games?
For the purpose of my sanity, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, and I haven't played it, I would probably do GTA 5 because it's so open world and expansive. There's so many things you can do. From what I hear, I would do that then. So something sandboxy where I can go anywhere and do just about anything.
Mm-hmm. I think I would actually choose Mass Effect 3 as my one game because it's such an amazing story that I could, you know, obviously play over and over and over again, but then it has the multiplayer as well.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer is so well done. I haven't played it forever, but it's so well done that you can just literally be playing that, you know, and get amazing at it. If that's all you could do, oh man, I would be pretty damn amazing at first person shooter kind of thing. So, co-op shooter.
Yeah, you'd be ready for Overwatch. Oh, but you can't play it because that's your one game.
I know. I would be like, oh, everybody else is playing Overwatch and I can't.
Aww.
It'd be an interesting experiment to just say, okay, for 1 year, you can only play this one game for the entire year.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to do that.
I don't like this question. I don't like it.
Arcane said, not Heroes, Jules, even if you can't watch the NA Open on Twitch any longer. If I can't watch anything else and I can only play one video game, I don't know. Heroes is up on the list, but I might get tired of it. So yeah. I love Heroes right now, though, man. I'm so into it. And the NA Open was just like, I want to see it all. It's a kind of a sickness. So
Yeah, well, you know, it's that a game addiction thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
know.
we all get it.
It's that
We all
video
get it.
game thing we do.
Yep, at Vigi Games.
Mm-hmm.
In Vigi Games.
Yeah.
I gotta see here. Next up, I think, is Mehmet.
Yep.
And he says, "Your character is dying, but everyone else is safe. What are your last words?"
I thought you were coughing for real.
No, that was an emote.
There were emotes in
said
there and
cough,
I missed
yeah.
it.
Said cough, cough, wheeze. I was emoting. He was wanting an emotion, so I was emoting it.
You were totally emoting. That was awesome. My character is dying and everyone is safe. What is my character's last words?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to heal you.
Heels.
Trellant, my friend Tank in the the chat room just said, "Damn it, Trey, hold aggro." Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably very true. I would be like, "Damn it, Trey, you killed me."
Oh.
And his response would be, "I tried, but you know." That damn cat stood on my keyboard again.
Cat aggro. Oh man.
What would be the Marconin the gnome's last words?
Please take care of my mounts.
I have a huge collection of mounts and I want them to be taken care of. They're my babies. Or
That is sad and kind of scary in the same vein.
or something like, gosh, don't punt me after I die. No punting.
No punting. That's great. I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think Trelawnce actually wins. Mine sucks.
Well, Trelawnce is good.
I might be a little famous for saying, "Damn it, Trey!" So I might be a little bit famous for doing that. I'm just saying.
I like that question. That was a good one.
That was a good one. And finally, from the Druids Well, you have the chance to be under the direction of any of the great orchestral conductors. Who would it be?
Oh man, that's one of the things. Like, do you want it to be? If it's, I think. Oh goodness, that's a tough one because I don't know if I should go classical. Someone who's been long since dead, someone who's recent. Like, I think it would probably have to be three people. One, oh man, I could just ballpark a classical, composer and just if Mozart can conduct me. I can't remember if the trombone was even invented when he was around, or maybe Bach.
I don't know if trombone was ever in any Mozart.
I don't think maybe Bach. So Bach would be the classical one.
Yep.
Because I think he wrote for trombone, maybe. Can't remember who first did, but it would be Bach or someone like that. For more recent, I would go with Aaron Copland because I want to play. I can't think of the name, but that's a lot of people will remember it as the beef. It's what's for dinner, Bum ba da dum ba da 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 bum bum. That thing, I think Appalachian Spring. I can't remember what it's called. It's killing me. But anyway, he would be the second, and the third would be, yes, John Williams.
Yes.
Yes, it would be John Williams.
Yes.
Hans Zimmer is a close second in that, but yeah, John Williams for sure.
Yeah.
Because John Williams.
John Williams is definitely
Grand Canyon Suite is what Southern's saying for the, but I don't know if that's. It's one of Copland's. It's one of Copland's. I'll think of it later.
Okay. Well, and you also have the internet too.
Yes, I do have that.
I know this because you're on it. So.
Yes, I am on. I have internet.
So, John Williams, most definitely. My big dream in life, like one of the things on my bucket list would be to be able to sing in the choir that is directed by Russell Brower for one of the Warcraft franchises or one of the Blizzard franchises. I'll even take a Blizzard franchise. I don't have to be particular to Warcraft, but to be in the choir for one of those games and to sing.
That would be fantastic.
Because I sang in some really large choirs in my time, and it's been a long, long time since I've done it. I'm old. And I just, didn't want to deal with the stupid politics anymore. But choir singing is a love, and that would be absolutely freaking amazing. Like, so freaking cool. So, yeah, that's on my bucket list. So I would say John Williams. I'll be in a John Williams choir. Thank you. I'll do that. Star Wars, sing some Star Wars themes. That would be great. Instrumentals or, choir stuff. That'd be great. And then, of course, Russell Brower doing something for one of the Blizzard franchises. So
that's another one I didn't even think about is when I talked to him at the last BlizzCon about the music for Draenor and how just angry and savage this music is, and he was like, well, actually that recording was at the end of the day after they'd played all day, and so they were tired and they were hungry and they were angry, and it their fatigue came through as this just rough sound. And he's like, that's what I was looking for. And I was like, man, you're hardcore. I like that.
Well, and it's
really
not
cool.
easy to do because
It's not.
these choirs and the orchestras are so heavily unionized that they are down to the absolute second of the time that they can actually play, or they're going to be paying them overtime. And I was amazed by this when I sang for the Madison Symphony Orchestra. I sang for their choir, and they had someone, their manager, who would literally sit there with a stopwatch, and she would start the time when the conductor said it was they're supposed to start at 7 p.m. Click, they're on the clock. And she would walk up to him when it was break time, even if it was in the middle of a practice, click in front of him, and he had to stop.
Oh, man.
And
well,
they paid them
rules are
overtime.
rules.
Yeah, and if they go a second over that, they're paying them overtime.
Man.
That's how heavily unionized it was. And so I can imagine what the stressors were, to make them work overtime or whatever it was, and they don't want to do it. So.
Well, it could be that they were just playing so loud and so hard for so long that'll get you fatigued in a lot quicker than it will if you're just playing something over and over. And the chat room did verify that the Aaron Copland song I was thinking about is Hoedown.
Hoedown. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. And yeah, oh man, if I could be in Russell Brower's band for playing like the new expansion stuff, oh man.
So
that would be a dream come true, absolutely.
Yes.
I was just thinking about, in the grand scheme, but oh man, that would be so awesome.
Yes. That would be.
I'll bring my trombone, Russell. I'll bring it to BlizzCon.
I'm going to BlizzCon. You're going to record us.
I'll have it ready.
That was a good question. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
lots
is Tell
of
Us
questions.
One. Yeah, we love you guys
Yeah.
and your Tell Us One Thing questions, and you can send them to us on Thursdays. That's when I ask for them on Twitter. Tell Us One Thing Thursday. Our Twitter account is at Tauren Think Tank, or you can email them in to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. We love that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. So we're going to get into, we've got an update as part of our feedback this week. So we will do that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Wow, that's a lot of feedback.
Okay, our update this week is from Torrance, whose letter we read with Anthony Bean 2 weeks ago. And talking about how his drinking had been taking over his life and causing him major problems, and he wanted to stop that. So we got an update, and it was an interesting way that he heard about it. He said, Jules and Marconin, let me first say I was trying not to listen to Triple T at work because of the amount it made me cry. I was at the end of last week's CTR with Roe, and I heard the advertisement you and Marconin did. Immediately after hearing Anthony Bean and a few words, I knew that you guys were discussing my email. I'm sorry I really didn't respond, but I had a chance to talk to Anthony because he followed me back on Twitter after his last show way long ago with you guys. But I do now have a bit of a response I can give you. Whiskey is still taking me over. Not in a bad way at the moment, but still to the stage where I can't remember key things that happened during my day. My girlfriend and I sat down and talked, but unfortunately, she kept giving me the I don't know card. I laid everything out for myself with the X, Y, and Z of things, and without breaking up, I got, it's not you, it's me. So I've been trying to figure out what I can do to help. That was about a week and a half ago, and we are still on the same I don't know stage. She dropped one job, and things still aren't good. However, I told her that Friday night is now going to be date night, and I won't have anyone interfere with that. She agreed to it, so I'm hoping for the best. I will still keep you updated, but I think the ball is in her court now. Hopefully, we can get somewhere with it, but at this point, who knows? Thank you so much, and I will keep you guys updated. From Torrance.
Well, it's good that you had the conversation and that you've set aside some time for each other. So that's the first step right there.
Yeah.
Just keep on working on it, and we hope for the best for you still,
Yeah, and this is not something that is going to magically change overnight, which you've obviously had experience with. And so just keep on it, and, you've established the date night, make sure it's stuck to, make sure that's kept on. And, if that doesn't happen, then that is another future conversation to have as well. So, yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
But thank you for the update.
Yes, thank you very much for the update. You guys said some really nice things to us in emails and on Twitter, and we're not going to bore you guys with all that stuff. So instead, we're going to do our slash moos for all the things that you want to say to other people. So we'll do our slash moos. The first one is slash moo to the wonderful members of the CTR Guild for being so welcoming to new members of the guild from Bomberak, level 100 Hunter on Airy Peak.
Welcome, welcome. Next one is from C.K. Ekholm. It's from Evilani. Evilani will work for me. Slash moo to all the amazing people from hashtag RenRaid. Our community is amazing, and I'm so proud to be part of it. Also, slash moo number 2 to at midnight and at later_fire for putting together an amazing meetup. Hashtag RenRaid.
Yes, and seconding that from Aurora 304 slash moo to the meetup gang from yesterday at the Bristol Ren Faire. Miss you, all of you already.
And also Aurora, that I had one last of those cow tails that she gave us at Nerdtacular. I ate that yesterday on my cheat day, so that was my dessert. So thank you for that.
That was awesome. Those are so good.
Yes, and next one comes from SM Game On. Slash moo to my friend Jay for helping me through a very rough week. Thanks, man.
That's a great one.
That is good.
From Cthulhu Madness, blah, blah, blah. Slash moo to the Warcraft devs and CMs for their hard work. Agreed.
Oh, yeah, there's been a couple of bad seeds in there that have just wrecked with the devs lately, and it's... Yeah. You can be mad, you can be upset, but geez Louise, personal attack threats.
I saw one did you see the one that Holinka got? You saw that one?
Yeah.
It was awful, and it was like threatening his family. I mean, it was horrible, like in a way that is so inappropriate that he actually did call it out and point it out so that people could understand the kind of vitriol that they receive occasionally, and more occasionally than not. It's horrible stuff, and I just wish that those people would realize that it is not going to get them anywhere, but
yeah,
just,
like I almost want to find him at BlizzCon and like shake his hand, if not hug him. Like, dude, I don't PvP that often, but thanks for all the hard work you do, because good grief, that was and it was from like a grown man.
Yeah.
And someone doing it probably for publicity, for just notoriety, idiot.
It's very, very frustrating. But I mean, and these people they're real people with real feelings. I mean, I even saw like in the recent days, I don't know what's going on in the world right now, but a couple of actresses that I follow, like Jules State from Firefly, and Chloe Bennett from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are saying things like, I know that you think that we're made of, Teflon or whatever, but we're actually real people with real feelings. And if you say horrible things about us, it does hurt. And it's like, I can't imagine what it's like for those folks who are so public and so out there in public and putting themselves out there and doing that and dealing with the vitriol that they get. It's just awful stuff. So.
Yeah, it's, the internet makes celebrities so much more accessible these days, to where you can literally just talk to them and tell them whether you like them or not. And it's a blessing and a curse, but more these days it feels more like a curse.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And the next one we have is it's a little, well, I just learned about this anyway, but the next one is from the Druid's Well. It's a slash moo to Khaled al-Assad for defending Palmyra until the end. He's an inspiration to archaeologists everywhere. And he was executed by the Islamic State. He was keeping cultural artifacts of Syria. And
oh, wow.
And I don't know the whole story because I'm just now looking it up, but they don't like... They're erasing history because it doesn't agree with what they say, and that's very unfortunate. So
yes, well, I don't know much about it either, but I certainly respect history for what it is, because you don't learn anything if you don't learn from history. So
yeah, and it's take all night, but I'm not going to.
I know. So we'll say something really nice for the end one, which is from Zeph AIE/Moo to the AIE WoW and CTR guilds for being great communities.
Amen to that.
Amen. We've got a couple ones from the chat room from the Game Case who came all the way from Florida to the Ren Faire meetup. He said /Moo to Midnight and Ledger for putting together the meetup, for all the hugs and cuddles, and to every other person that showed up. Ren Raid was an incredible experience and more needed in my life than any of you may realize. Thank you all. And a couple more /moos from everybody to those folks who organized it. I'm seeing if there's anything else. I don't see anything else, so we'll just go from there.
I don't see anything either.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. We're so glad. I'm just so glad everybody had a great time at this meetup. And I really encourage anybody who wants to come next year, we're going to do it again, to try to make some plans. We'll make it sooner, like announce it sooner so that people can try to make some plans, take some time, spend the weekend in Wisconsin because it's not so bad here. Our cows don't bite. So
that should be on a t-shirt.
Our cows don't bite. That actually should be our slogan.
Yeah, that should be.
Tauren Think Tank, our cows don't bite.
Our cows don't bite. It should be also on the sign when you're coming into Wisconsin. Welcome to Wisconsin. Our cows don't bite.
/Moo, baby.
/Moo.
Our show is available on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You can find all of our podcasts on our website at taurenThinkTank.com, including all of our YouTube videos that we do for every show. And now you get to see the cat cam, which the chat room has very much enjoyed. So we'll do it again. That'd be awesome.
Stretchy cat. Man,
this is what he does every week. I tell you.
That is comical.
I know. I get to see this every week, and now you guys get to see it too because it's really, really funny.
So cute.
He's freaking awesome, the cat. Hi, Garrus. We love you. So what else is going on with you this week? Anything of news to report?
Well, I am still working on it, but it looks like I'm going to be the guest on the Converted podcast tomorrow night.
Oh!
So I may be missing a bit of our raid. Sorry, boss.
Whatever. I'm sharding all your loot.
No, not the loot.
I'm just gonna just kind of dangle it in front of you and say,
"Hey, look what dropped tonight! More mage tier gear." No, I needed that. But
I gave it all to Arcade.
No. No, I'd be okay if you gave him gear. That's fine.
Okay.
Mages are cool with each other getting gear because that means more mage power on the whole.
Yeah.
And that's what the world needs is more mage.
What the world
needs now is mage, sweet mage.
I don't know. That sounds gross for some reason.
But yeah, I'm going to do the Converted podcast with Belschnickel and Sal and Navox. And that's going to be awesome because I love all three of those guys. It's going to be cool. And oh yeah, I got it. I got my Fabelina badge in this week. I'm showing the chat room. It's awesome.
So
I love
fantastic.
It. I cannot. It is huge. It's half the size of my head.
Yep.
I can't wait to wear it. So cool. Thank you, Fabelina. I don't know if you're listening right now or not, but thank you so much for this. It's so awesome. I love it. It's the best.
It's the best.
So yeah, gonna do that. Working on a couple other things. We'll see. No spoilers yet, but things happening maybe. But that's about it.
Very descriptive.
Yes, I am horribly vague, but things are, another work week. We'll see how it goes. What about you, Jules? What have you got going on this week?
This week. So this week I Remembered It Better on Thursday night, which has been very, very fun lately. We've been having a great time.
Parsec Award nominated.
Parsec Award nominated.
You gotta start putting that in the front of the story.
Finalist, even.
Finalist, yes.
Finalist. Yes. We made it further than we've ever made it before, so that's something.
That is awesome. Oh.
So, yeah, we find out if we win anything at Dragon Con, which is over Labor Day weekend. So, a couple weeks yet.
That's coming up a couple weeks,
Yeah, a couple weeks. So, there's that. And, yeah, I mean, Marconin and I are actually considering moving the show to Sunday nights. We need to talk about it after we do it tonight and see how it worked for our schedule, because it's a little bit more convenient for our schedules and to be able to do some things with our significant others and families. But we're talking about it. You know, we had a very nice and fun chat room this evening, so that was great.
Yeah, it was a nice full chat room. Thank you all for being here. I know
yeah,
it's not for us, but you guys brought it.
As
so
you
we thank
always
you for that.
As you
always do.
So, yeah. So that's what's going on with me. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. It's a busy week, but that's okay. And yeah, that's all I've got. So with that, we're just gonna tie this show up in a little bow and say it's done, or it's clean, or it's done, or something. I'm just gonna play the music because I'm just babbling.
Stick a fork in it. It's done.
There's music playing. Let's do that. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Our voiceovers are done by the two Uber mages, Arcane and myself, Marconin. You can find us outside of the show on our website. That's taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and also some information on how to get in touch with us.
Thank you to everyone who supports our show via Patreon. We have a new database coming with all of our questions and discussion topics because of you. We are working on it. It is happening. Things are moving.
It's a thing.
And people are volunteering to help, and we still need more people. If you like to listen to back shows and do some summarizing and all that great stuff, we would love your help. So let us know about that. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank.
Yes, you can. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at TaurenThinkTank. You can find my lovely co-host Jules at JulesRPG and my not so lovely myself, Marconin at MarconinWow. You can also chat with us on our forums. So if you want to give those boards some love, just head on over to forums.signalsmedia.com.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Saturday night or Sunday night. Or we'll see. At what time? It might start at 8. It might start at 9. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But you can also find our video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank and our mobile audio stream through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you guys here with us every week, and we love our chat room for being here and hanging out with us. You guys are the best people in the world.
Yes,
and
you are.
Our listeners are also the best people in the world. And running into you guys in random spots like I did yesterday is just the best. So, Marconin.
Yes.
Have a wonderful rest of your week. And starting now, your week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, starting on Monday.
And you have a wonderful week yourself, too, Jules.
I will. And we'll see you guys next week. We'll let you know what time and what day.
Yes, we will.
We'll let you know. So, for myself, for Marconin, for Arcane, for our entire chat room, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad. This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really?
Really? Gosh, that cat. Man, that cat is so relaxed.
You guys like the cat cam, I take it. I think you guys like the cat cam. I mean, I see this every time.
Funny.
And he does this. It starts out, he's like normally laying down like his normal like cat self, and this is how he ends up every time.
Oh my goodness, that is so adorable.
It is the funniest thing. So now I will share this with you guys every week if you want me to, because it's super easy to do it. I am literally using an app on my phone, or my iPad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, iPad camera.
Yeah, there's an app. Okay, so this is a really cool thing that I found, and anybody could use this. You just download this app, and it's a free video chat software that you can use on a browser or a mobile device. It's kind of like FaceTime, but you can you just share a code with each other. So like if I say that my code is triple T456 and I tell my friend, you go on your app and say triple T456 and I call you and you say it's okay for me to call you, that's how it worked.
Huh.
Yeah. The app is called
enough.
Gruvio, Gruveo.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's just like he's showing up in my browser right now. I have the microphone muted on both sides, and I just captured the screen and put it onto the cat cam. It's perfect.
It's so adorable. I'm gonna turn my fan back on because
you're probably dying.
It is an inferno in here, so I apologize for the fan noise. But holy moly, it's warm.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that it's not on during the show because it's loud.
Well, whenever you're reading the questions, this is kind of back, behind the scenes. But whenever you're reading your questions, I mute the mic and turn the fan on so I can get some cool air for a little while. And then as you're finishing, I'm like, off, click. All right, I'm back.
If you guys can see him, he's dreaming right now. So he's twitching. Let's see if he's going to do it again. It's hard. His front paw on the top and his back paw that's on the bottom are twitching. Let's see if he'll do it. I don't know. It's hard to see because it's small, but
yeah, that's so cute though. I think the cat cam worked. Cat cam worked pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys like the cat cam? Okay.
I did. I always like cats, so I mean.
He is the cutest thing, and it's hard because if you ever come to visit us, he will hide the entire time. He's afraid of people he doesn't know. So this is him in his natural state, comfortable with mom in the room.
Oh, I see him twitching.
You see him twitching? Yeah.
It was his back right foot, I think.
Yeah, the one up on the back of the couch there is twitching. Let's see if he does it again. He's definitely dreaming, though.
He's chasing something.
So damn cute.
Oh, I'm sorry I won't get a chance to meet him if I come visit.
It'll take a while. Like when Kalani was here, he stayed for a couple days, and he didn't stay here. He stayed in a hotel because he was here for work. But when he came over, it took a while, and Garrus would finally come downstairs and just wander around his legs and play with Spike, and let him. He let Kalani pet him, but it took a while. Good. But he's really afraid of men in particular, so it takes a while for him to warm up.
Yeah,
so.
I've had good luck with cats that are like that before.
Yeah,
where they'll I have a friend in Chicago, and her cat just runs away from everybody, and when she went, we were just I haven't seen her in a few years. So when I was there for work, we went out to grab dinner and hang out for a while. And whenever she left the room to go get ready, I sat down on the couch. And he was behind the couch, and I sat very still, didn't say a word. And eventually, he kind of came out and he saw me. And he kind of looked at me and walked up, and I just lowered my hand.
Aww.
And I was very, very quiet and very, trying to give off comfort and I am one of your people. I am a cat person.
I am a cat person.
I will pet your head.
I will pet your head.
Please, let me pet your head. I am your nice person, yes. And he got up, and as we were sitting on the couch talking a minute later, he came back out and sat down in my lap. She was like, that has never happened. And I was like, I am cat person. This is who I am.
Yes.
Cat person, yes.
Yes. And they know. I mean, Midnight, I think you would completely win him over. You just have to be here longer for him. It took Kalani. Kalani was here for 3 days, just, coming over, and we set him up with a hard line for his laptop, and he was gaming with us in the same room for a couple days. And by the second day, Garrus was okay with him. But Sam, I didn't get any show titles. Why don't you just put them in the chat room though, because we'll just talk about it and figure it out which we want to do, which one we want to use, because I need a show title. Yeah,
my uncle is here in the chat room today, and he got a new electric bike, and I just got the picture of it.
Electric bike. Nice.
Yes, yeah, it's an electric bike. Kind of putting it up on the screen there. It kind of looks neat. I heard that he had ordered it. That's cool. That is really cool.
Did you do that to Twitter, Sam? I don't see it on Twitter. I didn't get a DM or anything. There's nothing here. And
Sam, with the the thing you were sent me in a whisper earlier. Can you just send me an email to Marconin at torrenthinktank.com with what you want to talk about, and I can reply to you there. That way, it's a little bit easier because in case I've just got my phone with me or something like that, I can just text you back.
Yeah, I don't have
you
it
back.
in Twitch either. It might have been too long.
Yeah.
But if you can put them in the chat room right now, just put them out and we'll start talking about them. And
Cat Cam Crash, all new things and moose mounts, or Our Cows Don't Bite.
Our Cows Don't Bite.
That one's a pretty good one.
I do like Our Cows Don't Bite because that
Yeah.
one's pretty good. The cat cam crash was pretty funny. He literally, you saw it. He like jumped over to the table and started nudging it, and he fell. So
I can't wait to watch that again and see it. Turkey legs and waffle cones, all new things and moose mounts.
Don't
Start the
punt me
fire.
after I die. Okay, I think it's between turkey legs and waffle cones and Our Cows Don't Bite. Those would be my two. So which one do you like as a top title?
I like them both.
I know.
Our Cows Don't Bite is shorter, but turkey legs and waffle cones really epitomizes the food of what you guys did.
I didn't eat the turkey legs, but
Yeah.
but the waffle cones, man.
So hungry right now. I had a big lunch at my grandmother's, and that was 9 hours ago. So I'm getting hungry now. But
oh, you guys like Our Cows Don't Bite, huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Like the third one, turkey legs and waffle cones.
So
Stretch
Lori,
it,
about
kitty.
how much are you what's your pay ceiling for the webcams? Because I can tell you the one I'm using, it's the upper price of the ones that we sell at work. So I'd have to.
Yeah, the one I use is the C310. I want to say. From Logitech.
I can't see the model number, so I can see it at work on the website.
Yeah, the one that I have right now that's on me right now, that's a Logitech C310. It costs about $30 on Amazon, and it works pretty good. If you're doing that, just a simple, like cheap kind of webcam, I think there's a creative one out there for $10, or I'm sorry, $20 that was also on Amazon.
Yeah, the one we sell the C270. It's a 720 pixel.
Okay.
And it's on sale right now for $22.
Ooh,
Normally
okay.
it's $30.
Okay.
And they price match Amazon if you've got a store nearby you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, get back to the chat channel. $30, but wanted to spend. Yeah, you can. Where is it? Yeah, the C270. And they got free shipping. So I don't know what it is on. I don't know what it is on Amazon. Let me see.
Very cool.
I can research that for you too.
Yes.
Detect C270.
Yes.
Actually, it's $19 on. Is it 19? No, wait. Well, it says 18, but then right under it says 22. So if you showed it to people at the store, they could price match it. But if you just want to order it off Amazon, then you can do that too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I need to actually go because I need to use the bathroom because I've been like drinking a ton of water. So
Hashtag fit for BlizzCon.
Hashtag fit for BlizzCon. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. We will see you in next week.
Yes,
Saturday,
we will.
Sunday, we'll let you guys know. We'll just figure it out. So
yeah.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Later.